Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention just for a couple of minutes, please? A brief synopsis on Johnny Magee. The world was still in turmoil less than a year after the end of the Second World War. In Ireland, we were just after the emergency in Hollis Street Maternity Hospital, Dublin. The arrival of one John Charles Magee, a bouncing baby boy. Having left the hospital, he was brought home. To all of us North County people, this may come as a surprise. Home to young John Charles Magee was on the south side. Sandymount, to be exact. Yes, Johnny is a Southsider.
Oh! I'm a new blinder!
At the tender age of 3 years, the family and Johnny moved north to the forest. St. Pappin's School in Ballymun was his first port of call for education. Under the watchful eye of Mrs. Mulhall, he was refused entry to secondary school because in those days it was for girls only. A young man, but already showing an interest. He had, as most people of the era, many summer jobs, fruit picking for Keelings and Michael Monks. However, his first full-time job was in Fingal Service Station, where under the watchful eye of George Greeley, he qualified as a fuel injection engineer. Having his first qualification under his belt, young Johnny moved further afield to Jack Monk's as a bacon fattener. This was to be a long and arduous apprenticeship. He later moved to Pat O'Toole and Swords as a fully fledged, fully qualified bacon fattener. At the age of 16 years, he left for Belfast to join Her Majesty's Royal Navy. But on arrival, it's reported, he was a little flat-footed about the whole thing. So it was back to local employment when he moved over to the drying station for Sir Richard Musgrave. Under the guidance of one Bobby Finnegan, known to Johnny as Mr. Finnegan, at 17 he moved with J.T. Finnegan and Bob Bushell to the far off shores of London. Unable to find employment as a bacon fattener, he became best mates with a fitter, but couldn't find anything to fit. On one of the nights out in the big city, in the company of J.T. Finnegan, Johnny decided to return early to the digs. On his way, he came across a poor, lonely hedgehog. And being an avid animal lover, he decided to take the poor, lonely creature home and keep it warm by placing it in J.T.'s bed. He then turned out the light and awaited J.T.'s return. Within the hour, the rambler returned, and being of a considerate nature, he did not turn the lights on, and so as not to disturb his colleague's slumber. J.T. prepared for bed in the dark and pulled the covers, climbed in, and initially he was surprised. What an unusual place to leave a hairbrush. It was only when the hairbrush started to run up his leg, J.T. realised there was something amiss. It's reported that J.T. never before or since got out of bed as quickly, and even at that time of the night, in the pitch dark, the room was lit up by some beautifully colourful language. Upon the return to Dublin, he joined Dublin Pork Milling under Tom Kramer, and diligently cycled to work each morning on a bicycle, which was to feature again at a later stage. He then joined P.J. Walls. And speaking of walls, there's one down in Woodlawn Way in Santry which John reckons should be finished by the end of the century. Well, with Walls, Johnny used to collect scrap lead and would carry it home on his bicycle each evening. On one particular good day for scrap, or mongo as it was called, the load on the poor bike was heavy and the road was long. This was not to deter Johnny, but due to the weight of the lead in the front wheel of the bicycle collapsed. The bike would go no further, and so it was. The bike was another addition to Johnny's scrap. He will accept lifts from anyone, but do not ask to borrow his darts, as he may become offensive. Tommy Sharkey says Johnny wouldn't give him a dart. It's reported he wanted to join the Foreign Legion, but they wouldn't give him a caravan. Johnny joined De Beers, no, not Guinness, the Diamond Company, and since then it is reputed that he has shares in a public house down in Ballyvaughan, which has left Michael Monks to manage. In May of 1995, at a special meeting of the Peers Accountants, it was decided that a large multinational company of this size could no longer sustain a wage pay as high as Johnny was causing. So he took early redundancy and he went to West Beirut, where he still resides. He's known locally as being a keen bird watcher and is often seen around Boss late at night. On one of his archaeological expeditions with his long-life friend, Eamon O'Sullivan, they ventured as far as Portmarnock and with the aid of a metal detector began to search. While our trusty archaeologists did not return empty-handed. No, they returned 4 hours later, laden down with 28 pence. And it's rumoured Johnny still has not received his share. This must, of course, lead on to the greatest archaeological find of all, the fossil. 320 million and 13 years old. And all Johnny wants is 1 penny per year. But alas, a buyer has not yet been found. The only thing almost as old as the fossil was the kettle, a Peugeot 104, purchased from Eamon O'Sullivan Motors. A sad day for Johnny when it refused to go. It was known as the kettle because it needed more water than a bucket of oil on a building site. The warranty was invalidated, according to Mr. O'Sullivan, by overuse of water. Frankie goes to Hollywood, Johnny goes to Holyhead, just for a day trip. Drinks all the way over on a boat, samples the local hostilities, complains about the local brew, drinks all the way back, and then decides he should go to the booth for a real pint of porter, and that's what I call a customer. People often wonder why Johnny parks his car in the same spot outside the coachman's on each visit, but there is method in his madness. He parks beside the pedestrian lights. On his departure, he duly starts the car, gets out, pushes the stop button for the pedestrian, gets back in the car, the lights change, and out drives Johnny. However, recently Johnny was accompanied by Carol. He instructed her to press the button as he started the car. The lights changed, the traffic stopped, Johnny went to drive away, Carol was still standing watching the traffic. Another great plan gone astray. Well folks, that was only the tip of the iceberg about young John Charles Magee. A true character, and like of the rogue, I'm sure you will all agree. For those of us who know him, and many of us there are, his character, laughter and humour are known near and far. For 50 years ago today, a good friend was born, and may he live as long again and see many similar more. John Charles Magee, an appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yesterday, that was Mick O'Donohue. Give her another applause again there. Mick O'Donohue done a fantastic job there on the life and times of Johnny Magee. Fantastic stuff.